This is Eddie Starr with Ton Up, and we're sitting here with Philip Paul Kelly, the writer, director, and producer of the new musical Rockquiem, which made its debut reading here at the Triad Theater on March 5th. Thank you so much for joining us, Philip.
Thank you, Eddie Starr. I'm very glad to be here and to have an opportunity to talk about Rockquiem.
Can you give me some background into Rockquiem and the process, your creative process of developing the piece?
Well, I just have to say how fitting that we are doing the interview here at the Triad Theater, because this is actually where the inspiration came from. The owner of this establishment, Peter Martin, and I have stayed in contact and become friends from afar, you might say. You know, he's always been extremely generous and friendly with me. I used to work here, and then we became friends over the years. I came to see a production last year, and Peter sat with me, and after we saw it, we were having a drink and we were just chatting it up, catching up, and Peter turned to me and said, "Do you know who you look like?" And I said, "Who?" He said, "Iken Koloff." And I had no idea who that was. You know, of course, I knew of wrestling as an entertainment sport and things that people love to view, and I knew the lore of it. I can't say I'm specifically lured to watching that on television. It wasn't something that I was naturally drawn to, but I have to say that when Peter said that to me, a light bulb went off to some degree, and then it just kept getting brighter and brighter. You know, the light bulb kind of was dim when he said that to me, because I thought, oh, I remind him of someone. And then slowly I began to research who this person was. And reading about him and doing the research created an interest, and then I found some affinities, believe it or not. Never myself been a wrestler. I did a little wrestling a long time ago of no significance, but there were some affinities and there were some things about his life that really, really attracted me and motivated me to want to write a story. So that's how it started. One thing led to another, and through the research, I started discovering facts about him, things that happened to him that I found awfully compelling and interesting. And then I started to look at some of the music from you, Eddie Starr, that I, to my surprise, found fit in like a puzzle piece to what I was trying to write. So it very kind of, I use this word magically, or very, very, there was some, mysteriously started to come together in a way, unexpectedly, that helped me to start shaping this. I both took myself on a journey and I was taken on a journey.
You just had the first reading of Rockquiem here at the Triad, here on the Upper West Side, which normally takes quite a few years for a piece to get to that point.
Right.
What was that like for you?
Well, let's not forget, I how could I say it? Very gratuitously gave myself the lead role in it, and why not? But I have to say that I did write this piece with myself in mind, being in the main part, because in fact it started with the idea of the similarity or the resemblance that was suggested to me. So I also I wrote, produced, and also took part in this reading. So it was a multifaceted experience, I can tell you. Besides it being anxiety producing, it was extremely exciting, challenging, invigorating, uplifting, frightening in some ways too, because although I got a lot of recognition from certain writing consultants I had involved in reading my script and giving me feedback before I actually had the nerve or confidence to say, okay, let's try to put this on its feet for the first time. But venturing into that, I think anyone would say, okay, the only way to do it is to just jump in. I happen to be an organized person, so I started from square one, and just started to ask myself, okay, what do I need to do? Well, I guess I need to get some actors. Okay, once I do that, then I have to give them materials in order to learn, what this story's about. So like I said, without getting too tedious about describing that process, having the opportunity to get it on its feet to a staged reading level, like what you said, some productions would take a lot longer to get there. We did more than just a sit-down reading with some music accompaniment. We actually did some simple staging so that there would be body engagement and dynamic for the audience to take part in, to engage in, hopefully because we're engaged, they're engaged. So it was a testing ground also, not just a reading. My objective was to test what it is I wrote. Does it engage people? Did they find it interesting? Are they excited about it? And I'll tell you something, they are.
That's great. Well, excuse me. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to hearing more about Rockquiem and seeing it.
Me too.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you.